Okay, so as we know, we are preparing to start our tutorials, or let me say lessons, or should I call it master class with you. And this is going to be free. I'm teaching everything for free. I'm not charging anything. So it's left over to you to um, be serious with your lessons, and also make sure that you take each and every thing that I'm going to teach you seriously. Forex is a great venture. Let me put it that way. Forex is a very great venture, but if you don't treat it well, it will also not treat you well. All right. So the best thing to do is to always treat Forex as you treat any other business. Forex is not a bet. It's not a gamble where you just come into the market to gamble your money and go. Forex is technical. Forex is something that needs proper understanding and analysis of the market. So as a person, you should always be ready to what? To take the market as to take a forex as what? As a business and not as a gamble. All right. That is the first thing that you need to know. So today I'm just here to introduce how the whole thing is going to be done to you, and how we are going to meet. All right, because you majority, over 90% of you are students. I'm going to structure the whole thing such that you guys can be present for each of the class. Okay, you guys can be present for each of the classes. So it is important that you get a notebook. All right, let me put it that way. It is important that you get what? A notebook. Very, very important that you get what? A notebook that you can what? You can be jotting down points in. Okay, that you can be jotting down points in. If you are somebody who don't write down key things, it's going to be very difficult for you to achieve greater heights in this business. Okay. um we need to understand one more thing. That is, you need either a mobile phone, a tablet, or a computer to be able to trade the forex market. So these are the gadgets you need: a smartphone, a tablet, iPad, or a laptop. These things, once you have them, you should be able to what? Trade forex on the go. I remember those days, even whilst in the lecture theatre, I'm looking at my charts. I'm looking at my trades because on the smartphone I can trade everywhere, even in car, on the plane. As long as I have Wi-Fi on the plane, I can be able to what? Can be able to trade. Can trade on the bus. Even, excuse me to say, if you go to your restroom, your smartphone is with you can still be trading there. So forex can be traded anywhere you go, on the move. Once you have your smartphone with you, once you have your smartphone with you, you will be able to trade forex no matter where you are. So that is one thing that you need to what? To take notice of. So if you don't have a smartphone, you must have a laptop or a tablet to venture into this. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is dedication. If you are not somebody that is dedicated, if you are a lazy person, forex is not for you. Let me just be honest with you. If you are a lazy person, forex is not for you, because whilst others are sleeping, as a forex trader, you are awake, measuring the chart, eyeing key levels. Okay, you are what? You are looking out for what? Key points that you can pick trades from. Please, somebody's microphone is still on. Let's all check and kindly mute ourselves for me, please. Let me see. Okay. All right. So let's continue. So as I was saying, you need to be what? To be somebody who is not lazy. Okay. You must be very, very focused. Forex deserves that from you. Forex is a business that allows you freedom, but also it hates laziness. Listen to this one. It allows you freedom, but then also it hates laziness. Okay. So if you are somebody that you are not willing to put in the work, then I'm sorry to say Forex is not for you. So that is something you should take note of. So today, all I'm doing is preparing your mind ahead for the journey that is ahead of us. Okay, I'm preparing your mind for the journey that is ahead of us. All right. Please, those who are just joining, kindly mute yourselves. Those who are just joining, kindly mute yourselves. Sometimes I'm trying to mute those who just joined. All right, let's continue. So the first thing I said is Forex is a business and you have to what? Treat it as such, and you shouldn't treat it as what? Like it is what? It is a gamble. Forex is not a casino where you go and gamble. Forex is a business. It's a chart that you analyze. So those of you who are late, you can rewatch the beginning of the presentation. Okay, it will be uploaded so you can rewatch it after this place. After we close the meeting, you can rewatch it. All right, and then we also talk about what? About you not being what? Lazy. You must be what? Dedicated and what? World focused. So the next thing I want to talk about is that you shouldn't be what? Greedy. If you are somebody who is greedy, Forex is not for you. Forex is not for people who are greedy. Okay, because when you are greedy, you do things that you don't need to do in the market. You what? You always be focused on the wrong things in the market. That is what people who are greedy always do. And when you do that, you end up losing a lot of money in this market. You do what? You end up losing a lot of money in this market. All right. Now, the next thing also that I'm going to talk about is that you have to be psychologically what? Prepared. You have to be psychologically what? Prepared. If you want to what? If you want to really, really make it in this business, you have to be psychologically prepared. That is, you should be somebody who has no fear to lose money. You should be somebody who will not be psychologically affected when you lose some amount of money, because this business involves the two sides. As much as it can give you money, same way it can also take money from you. But the good news here is that with Forex, you can do what we call calculated risk. You can minimize your risk. That is the beautiful thing about what? About Forex. You'll be able to what? Minimize your risk. I'm telling you fact. See, if you are somebody who can control your greed, you'll be very, very successful with this business. All right. Then these things I'll talk about them into detail when we are doing forex psychology. During the course of the lesson, we'll be doing something we call risk management and psychology. So when we are doing the forex psychology, I'll talk more about most of these things. For today, I'm just preparing your mind down for what we are about to do. The next thing I'll talk about is consistency. Okay, you have to be consistent. You will not start learning the whole thing today, then you begin feeling excited because the way they are explaining the thing to you, feel like, oh, it's simple, it's this. No, let me tell you, the person teaching you has been doing this for a while now, so he's conversant with the things he's explaining. So when he explains, it seems simple to you, but I can tell you emphatically well that when you get to the chart on your own, okay, that is by yourself, you realize that there are things he thought and explained that you saw it to be simple will now become complicated to you. All right, it will become what? Complicated to you on the chart. This is why every assignment that you'll be given, everything that they'll say do, try as much as possible to what? To do it. If the person teaching you says, oh, please do this assignment, I want to see you practice this thing that I've taught today, and then drop screenshot of what I asked you to what? To practice on the page for me to know that, yeah, you are able to what? To truly do it accurately. Please make sure you do that, because that is the only way we can correct your errors. If they say do A and you refuse to do it, you would think maybe it's just like FOREX is just like our normal lectures that we go to. No, see, yeah, there's nothing like, okay, well, when I was studying, I have to write examination and things because I did my beginners course, intermediate, advanced, and professional course. So I have to graduate during the professional course and take my certificate. So I wrote exam. I wrote exam during intermediate. I wrote exam during advanced, and I wrote exam during what? The professional course we taught, Billionaires Academy, Billionaires Trading Academy in Zambia. Okay. Now, here I'm not going to give you any exam. I'm only teaching you, and I'm not going to hide anything. That is one thing about me. I don't care whether I'm teaching you free or not. I'm teaching you every secret in this business that I have known and has brought me this far. All right. Okay. So that is another thing. Consistency. Very, very important. I hope you guys are jotting these things down. As I said it at the beginning, you need to get a notebook. Those of you who are on the page, you saw that last time I dropped how do they call it, an image of my notebook where I was writing things down, and I drop it on the page. I was like, well, I'm preparing what? Your lessons. Okay. So if you come to my room, I have charts, details pasted on my wall and co. If somebody enters your room as a trader, they should know you are a trader. You have to have information on the wall. You have to have information. You have to have information on everywhere that can help you to always be up to what? To speed. This is very important, my brothers, my sisters, on this call. Please, if you really want to succeed, these things I'm telling you, take notice of them, and take notice of them, and what? And use them to equip yourself. And I tell you, before you come out of school, you are well positioned to the extent that you don't need any employment from anybody. As I was telling those of you that came to the program, since I finished school, I didn't go for any employment. I have been self-employed since day one because of what? These things that I learned before I finished school. Okay, so that is the next point, which is the consistency that I just talked about. Then the next thing is to work on your fears. What is your biggest fear? What is your biggest fear? Is it the fear of losing? If it is the fear of losing, you got to what? Work on that possible and do everything within your power and work on your honest. I have most of the people I've already trained. Some of them are on the call here. Okay. Some of my colleagues that are also already experts in the business. Some of them also have joined the call. Why did they join? They know that in this business we can still learn from each other. So you don't need to what? To say enough, that what I've learned is enough, I can use it and move forward. No. Okay. But one thing I'll assure you is, if you can work on your fears, you will be able to achieve greater height in the business. I don't know if a lot of you know Chris Dollars. Chris Dollars is my colleague, and we all learn the FOREX, and he's also making it big time. So those of you, he is very popular than me, okay, because he's a marketer, unlike me. I am an affiliate marketer, he is a network marketer. We are two different people. He markets both online and not physically. So those of you that know him, I'm telling you, whether you meet me or you meet him, you are meeting the same talent, you are meeting the same idea. Okay. So please, if you really want to achieve greater heights here in this business, do well to do away with fear, especially the fear of losing money. I'm repeating it again. Then you should be a risk taker. So if you are not a risk taker, Forex is not for you. All right. If you are not a risk taker, Forex is not for you. But if you are a risk taker, hooray, it is your business. It is your opportunity. It is your time to what? To like prosper. Because as you take, the more risk you take, the more successful you become. There is a saying that you use money to make money. All right. So those of you, before I continue, those of you that took this trade, I gave this particular trade on the page this afternoon on Boom 500. So if you took this trade, we hit TP1 long ago, and we are still in. I still have positions running on this. I'm still targeting this level and this level. So those of you that still have positions, you can move your SL now to somewhere above here, break even, and then you can allow this guy to the rest to run. But those of you that open one position, I ask you to close, because you just have one position, so you have to secure the backs. Okay. But those of you that still have it, other positions running, you can continue to hold them and make a break even on that. So as you can see, we have now broken below, not fully broken, we are still within the zone, but I'm still expecting this whole zone here, the whole zone from here to here, because this is just liquidity that price is trying to grab here, or sweep. But then we have a lot of imbalance here. We'll learn about those things. We have imbalance here, this is why I'm targeting those areas as well. Okay, so we'll have a proper look at that in our lessons. All right, guys, so as I was saying, back to what I was talking about. Okay, now when we start, please pay attention to instruction. When I say practice with demo, practice with demo. When I say now move to live, you can move to live. Now you starting to trade with live. Before I'll tell you to start to trade with live account, it means I have I'm satisfied with your work. When I say your work, it means when I say do this and post on the page, you always follow that the instruction, and you always post for me to see all that you are doing. Once I see that, yeah, your work is so diligent and you are consistent and reaching the kind of goals that I want you to reach, I'll tell you, okay, now you can start trading live money. That is your own funded money. All right. Okay. So that is basically it with the introduction. So this is how we are going to go about the whole training. First, it's likely we'll be starting next week. Okay. The flyer, I thought the designer will be able to finish by now, but he wasn't able to finish. So if he's able to send it to me by before the evening ends, then I'll post it on the page, and then you guys, you can share it with your friends. I was looking for 500 people before we start, but at least we are almost around 300, so I feel like starting next week. All right, so now I'm looking at us doing it on Fridays. I would like to hold the class on Fridays because of you guys are students and have a lot of academic activities ongoing. So I don't want us to have the meeting crashing with your activities whereby you will not be able to attend the meeting. Though every meeting that we'll be having will be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel, that is Accurate Pips. So if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, do well to be subscribed to the channel, because that is where we'll be dropping every meeting and lesson. This particular video will also be dropped there for those that missed the meeting to go and watch from there. So please do well to always come to what? To class. Like the university where you do plenty theory, this is very practical. Forest is very practical. Though the few, maybe the first few lessons may be a little bit of demonstration, practical, and then we move. So as I was saying, one thing I will not do is to start telling you the history of Forex and all those stuff. No, that is not what I'm coming to do. So if you want to know the history of Forex, that one you can Google it. All right. I am going straight to the point, explain certain few things, certain terminologies that you need to understand that you'll be using as we go on or we move on. They are the things that I'm going to be talking about and explaining to you guys. Then from there, we dive deep into what? Into the Forex business. All right. So guys, be prepared. We have the month loaded. Get data. If you don't have money to buy data, contact me. I have data packages at cheaper price. Okay. If you DM me, I'll tell you the networks that are available. This video will be uploaded, so I'm not going to say much on air. Okay. So please do well. If you have any question after the meeting, I'm going to be opening the WhatsApp page for at least 1 hour before I will close it again. So do well to reach out to me with your questions, and I'll be glad to answer them. So those of you who are not um, on the YouTube page, is Accurate Pips. Okay, if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, it is Accurate Pips. Just go to YouTube and search Accurate Pips, and then you subscribe to the channel. My network is a bit slow, so okay. So accurate Pips. All right. So this is the channel. As you can see, that is the logo. So you just click on it, and then you click on the subscribe button this way. And we already have some videos on the page there, on the channel there, so you can watch them. As well. All right, guys. So that is it. I will not take question on the meeting. All questions should be typed on the page. I'll be opening it right now. Thank you for coming for this introductory session. We'll meet next week. The actual day will be confirmed, but as I said, it's going to be on Fridays. That is what I'm looking at. Fridays around, we'll start around 7 p.m. and we'll spend about 1 hour to 1.5 hour or 2 hours. Thank you for coming once again. See you on the page. Have a good evening.